Welcome back. Look at the sunsets around the region right now. I wish there wasn't all that equipment on top of the Piedmont-Macon Medical Center. I've done my best to avoid showing that, but sunset's really pretty right now. I want to get that angle. So it is what it is. You got to deal with things sometimes. Either way, it's going to be a great weekend as we move forward. Things are cleared out from earlier. Radar's quiet now. The big thing, as I mentioned before the break, is going to be that wind, all right? Tonight shouldn't be terrible. Obviously, we've had some pretty strong winds today as that cold front has come through. Here are the rain totals from this morning, by the way. There really isn't a whole lot to say here. We didn't get a lot of rain. The wet spots kept it under a half an inch, under a tenth of an inch. As for this evening, it is a little chilly out there, especially with those winds. If you have Friday night plans, I do suggest a jacket. But outside of that, can't complain. Not only is it a clear night, we have a full moon out there, 40 degrees for our low, wind coming from the northwest, and gusts could still push upwards of 28 miles per hour. The normal name is the full snow moon because February is the snowiest month of the year. But I decided to go with the Cherokee one because the Cherokee tribe obviously pretty big around the Peach State. They call it the full bone moon because during the winter months, their food supplies would run low, and they'd resort to gnawing on bones and making bone marrow soup in order to survive the colder months. Here are the lows around the rest of the region, largely the low 40s, maybe more towards the mid 40s for the furthest southeast counties. But overall, can't complain about this weekend. Tomorrow, low to mid 60s in terms of real feels. Actual highs should be more towards the mid to upper 60s, but I can't discount the effect those winds out of the northwest will have tomorrow with gusts that could range 30 to 40 miles per hour. Much calmer winds Sunday, though, slightly cooler as that wind will be out of the north for a couple of days, so largely low 60s in the afternoon, and then that wind reverses to the south in the afternoon. Ignore those rain chances there. We should not see rain before Tuesday of next week. We might have some scattered clouds Sunday night, but they won't bring us any rain. So these wind gusts, as mentioned before, overnight could still reach upwards of 20 miles per hour, but that's nothing like we will see tomorrow afternoon, where they are pushing over 30 miles per hour, likely sustained, or sustained seems to be 10 to 20 miles per hour. Gusts will likely fall 30 to 35, but could peak at about 40 miles per hour. And we'll get some mid-level clouds to stripe the sky late in the afternoon. They go away ahead of the overnight hours, and now we have that calm wind setting in as we roll into Sunday, which will shift from the northwest to the southwest throughout the afternoon. Tomorrow's highs are mainly, as mentioned before, in those mid to upper 60s, but the wind chills could make it feel a couple degrees cooler with that wind out of the northwest. But of course, we finally have a sunny weekend again, just in time for NASCAR coming to town because they had to postpone all that stuff with Daytona last week, all that rain. They're lucky this time. Doubleheader tomorrow, Trucks and Xfinity. That's at 2 p.m. and at 5 p.m. And then Sunday, of course, the Better 400, the Cup race. That's at 3 p.m. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. So we got those strong winds tomorrow, much calmer Sunday, and a very warm start to next week. Cold front Wednesday, that's going to be our good chance for rain next week initially, though you do see that 10% Tuesday. Could be a bit of a wet end next week. We'll have to see how that pays out.